going on, everybody? It's Michael Milano and Nick McNaboe, MNM Bay Area. We're here today in downtown Novato on Railroad Avenue, just about a block and a half away from the SMART train station at Grant. And we are with Levine Dodd in her art studio. What an incredible space, an incredible artist. We're happy to introduce you to her and excited for everybody to know more about what she does.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Ellen. I can't wait to walk through your wonderful studio. You guys, it's going to be a great one. Talk to you.
You know, and art, Marin Mocha grew out of a group of women who used to get together, who liked to paint, was more of a hobby. And then they formed an organization. And then when Hamilton started transitioning from, you know, a base to, you know, buildings that were going to be repurposed.
Right.
And I'm not sure exactly where in the community, but somebody said, well, let's create this, take this organization that's part of, you know, the community and kind of formalize it a little bit more and create a museum out of it. So I mean, at first it was like, it went through stages of becoming much more of an art organization. And then they took a part of the space that they had for art studios that they were renting out to different artists. And they turned it into a small museum, which is, they've had some amazing shows there. I mean, some really significant world-class artists showing there.
How long have you been in Novato, Ellen? How long has your studio been down there off of Grant?
The studio's been here for, this is going on my fourth year.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a studio preceding that, sort of in the Belmarin Keys area, which is where we live. We have a house in Belmarin Keys, and I got a studio that was on Hamilton Drive, but it was kind of a funky place, and it really wasn't an appropriate area to have an art studio. I mean, it was cold in the winter, freezing cold, and super hot. And it was really hard to function there.
Mm.
And at some point I decided, and I didn't have enough space. I mean, I'm kind of one of these artists that I have, besides painting, I do fine art printing and photography of my own work, and I have an etching press, and, you know, it's like each one of those activities, which is really a part of the whole business of being a professional artist. 16, 17 years. I mean, then I went through a phase before that where I was a director of a gallery, and I worked for doing a lot of the business administration for some very well-known artists and art dealers. And so I've had experience in all of the elements of business,
Mm-hmm.
which has really, you know, been very helpful in, you know, knowing what to do for myself, you know, and being able to do it as a small business.
Yeah, you were talking about earlier. About is you have some of your work in Kaiser, and
yeah, quite a bit.
I mean, I'm just looking at the art behind you. It's soothing. I mean, you have a very like welcoming style. How would you describe your style of art? What drives you in like your art mediums?
What drives me is kind of my philosophy on life, which is make the most of what you have, and every cloud has a silver lining.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of that concept of like acknowledging that there's challenges and trouble that we all have to go through in living our lives, but how you approach it and what you do with it.
Cool. I mean, as an artist, you get to meet all kinds of different people and all kinds of walks of life probably have bought your art. How many of them have been just like from people from Novato, or are you more like an artist that lives in Novato and your art goes out of here and into different parts of the country?
Both, probably.
Okay.
I mean, I do have, galleries and art representatives that are all over the country. And probably because of Instagram, a lot of my art is known all over the world. I mean, I wish more people would buy it from all over the world, but that's, a goal.
Mhm.
But there's a number of people that are local that, have come to the Marin Open Studios or have, just kind of wandered by. I mean, there's signs out on the street that, have my website. So I've really been surprised that people just out taking walks in downtown Novato. I mean, Railroad Ave being halfway between Whole Foods and Trader Joe's is kind of a walking street. There's a lot of people that walk by.
Especially now with the smart train, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's right across the street from the smart train. I mean, a half a block from the station. So yeah.
That's
And
good foot traffic visibility.
yeah, I mean, that was that really wasn't the goal. The goal was, in getting this studio was the space itself. I mean, it's just a beautiful space and it has room for all of the, individual elements of what makes up, the business of being an artist. Part of the other thing too is one of my goals is to develop an online workshop. And I was, before the pandemic started, I was having a lot of workshop classes in the studio, but that's kind of on hold for the moment.
How would you say that if you were doing workshops and planning them and that kind of got put on hold when the pandemic happened, what other things about what you do drastically changed when this all went down?
Well, what it's kind of made me do is rethink my business plan and kind of made me fast forward into doing all of the technological elements of getting kind of a new business strategy in place, which is to be able to sell more artwork online and be able to put an online shop more as part of both my website and Instagram. So I've been working really hard at doing a lot more, creating a lot more inventory that isn't out at galleries and then photographing it and getting it up on the website. And I mean, right now, I just uploaded about 48 new pieces. I mean, some of them are small, some of them are large, that have been done throughout 2020. And I'm no surprised that I've been, that productive in the past year, considering what the year's been. But as an artist, isolation really isn't that much of a hardship, because you kind of do it anyway.
Yeah.
It's just the going out to gallery shows. I mean, I curated some shows. I curated a really beautiful show that was at the Danville Village Art Gallery that opened up 2 days before everything closed down.
Oh.
So if you look at my Facebook page, actually, there's a really good interview that shows all of that. I curated seven artists, and it's the second show of kind of this series called Color Play. But we never got to open the show and people never got to see it. And so all of that curation, some of which, I was going to do in the studio also, never really got to happen. So, those are all things that are kind of in the transition of how do we put those online and make them available in another way. And are people used to looking at art online, and how do they see it as opposed to like how they would see it in person? Are they able to appreciate it in the same way, or is it a different way?
How long have you lived in Novato, and where were you before you lived here?
Well, we've lived in Nevada for quite a while. We've owned our house for about 20 years. And before that, I lived in San Rafael, but and Mill Valley, but before that, I also lived in Novato. So, I've been around Nevada for quite a while. And so I really have seen it, kind of grow up to where the downtown area has become much more of a an interesting, kind of interactive place.
Mhm.
Nice jumping off point into the town with the smart train there. It's just it seems to be coming up into what we've all hoped and dreamed it could be. And it's fun to see that how connected the businesses are downtown. Everybody knows each other, and a lot of them have been there for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an awful lot of new businesses that have come up, but there is, I mean, there definitely is a community. I think with some of the creative businesses, they're probably newer.
Mm-hmm.
I think the concept of the Old Town Novato has kind of grown, and the concept of like making art more of a part of it is kind of an outgrowth of maybe the Art and Wine Festival, which interestingly enough also happened in San Anselmo, which also has very much the flavor of what Downtown Novato, has, with small shops that aren't, kind of corporate businesses that are having small, storefronts, to kind of, we're kind of the mind that, like, if anything, we've had a few takeouts, but mostly we're kind of, believe that people should be sticking, with things that they do at home and not being going out. I mean, I'm actually not a big supporter of the street fair concept during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think that it's the best idea, but I am supporter of businesses staying, in business. I think that in terms of pivoting, there could be a lot more that they could do that could be done in a safer, healthier way than, having the whole street open. But that's just my opinion on that. I think that it would be an interesting concept to figure out some way that restaurants could do that, where they could show, food and have it in a way that wasn't, that was allowing them to make money and be able to still, do what they do, but have it not be in such a, a party kind of concept.
In the spirit of that, how are people able to support your business right now in this kind of environment that we're currently in?
Well, buying art. I mean, I don't have an online workshop series yet, but I will soon. If people want to have individual mentoring with art, they can contact me through my website.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's your website? We'll definitely post it on this, but
www.ellendodd.com.
And
Okay.
Dodd with 2 Ds.
With 2 Ds, yeah.
Yep. It's a beautiful site.
Oh, thanks. So, I mean, as I said, I'm in the process now of like taking everything that's in the portfolio and having it so that each painting that is still available, that you can click on and you'll be able to buy it. The prices will be up there soon. I'm kind of in the process of doing that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I mean, I have a wonderful camera that we can actually do a Matterport of your studio and put a little meta tag on it. So if somebody clicks on your art, they'll see this little tag. You can write a little blurb about it, and then they can contact you if they are moved or touched by it. But they'll be able to walk through your studio when we're at the end of the day. If it's something that you're interested in us doing, we can deploy that for you, and it could live on your website.
One of the things I did was right beforehand is I did a mother-daughter day. And so, I mean, it was kind of a specialized, just a mother and her daughter came and they did a workshop, but having things like that where a family could together create art. I mean, I have all of the supplies here. What I did was the price included all of the materials, and I even had the aprons so you wouldn't, get all messy.
End up painting your
not guaranteed. Huh?
End up painting your shirt. That would be me. I would still paint all over myself.
Recommend that you don't wear your best clothes. I mean, wouldn't wear a 3-piece suit to paint in, but yeah, I mean, it's really, fun to do. I mean, it could be a date night thing, or a special family party, or, the studio is big enough, and I have like lots of large tables, and all of the materials all, kind of set so that a number of people, 10, 12 people at a time could paint, and get instruction and guidance. And it would be a really fun way to spend some time together doing something that's creative, and then walk away with something that, you could probably say, I did this.
Well, hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us for another Park Bench interview. I'm Nick, and my business partner, Mike Milano. We make up M&M Bay Area, and today we're so privileged to have Ellen Dodd of Ellen Dodd Art and Photography.
It's Ellen Levine Dodd.
Ellen what?
Ellen Levine Dodd.
Ellen,
that's how I go.
Ellen Levine Dodd.
That's to interrupt.
No, please do. If we're wrong, we be corrected.
Yeah.
Ellen Levine Dodd is your artist name.
Yes.
And Dodd
and your 2 Ds. And it's and your website is ellendodd.com.
Yes.
What's your Instagram?
Ellen Levine Dodd Art. But the website, if you go to ellenlevinedodd.com, you'll still get to the same website.
Oh, smart. Very, very smart. It's like if you go to michaelmilano.com, you still end up at mnmbayarea.com.
Yeah, just redirect.
Yep.
Well, thanks again for all of your time. Mike and I are M&M Bay Area. Ellen Levine Dodd Artistry. You're amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Guys, we'll see you later.
Thank you so much. Really enjoyed it.
All right, Ellen. Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
See you soon.
You too.